Everyone wants to change their behavior. Wake up earlier. Exercise consistently. Read more. Build a business. Save money. Be more disciplined. But almost everyone starts in the wrong place. They focus on behavior. They ask, how do I force myself to do this, when the better question is, who would naturally do this, because behavior is temporary? Identity is permanent. Behavior requires effort. Identity creates effortless consistency. The biggest difference between successful people and everyone else isn't motivation, it's identity. Your identity is simply the story you repeatedly tell yourself about who you are. I am lazy. I always procrastinate. I'm bad with money. I'm not a leader. I'm just an anxious person. At first, these seem like harmless descriptions. But your brain doesn't hear descriptions, it hears instructions. Every action you take is filtered through your identity. Imagine someone offers you a cigarette. One person says, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." Another says, "No thanks, I don't smoke." The behavior looks identical, but psychologically they're worlds apart. The first person is still a smoker fighting temptation. The second person doesn't need willpower, because smoking no longer matches their identity. Your brain constantly seeks consistency between who you believe you are and what you do. This is known in psychology as self-consistency theory. Humans naturally behave in ways that confirm their self-image. Even if that self-image is negative, if you believe you're lazy, you'll unconsciously skip workouts, delay important work, choose comfort. And every one of those actions becomes more evidence that you're lazy. It's a self-reinforcing loop. Identity creates behavior. Behavior reinforces identity. The cycle repeats. This is why habits fail. Most people try to change their actions without changing the person performing them. It's like painting over rust. The surface changes, but underneath nothing is different. Real transformation happens from the inside out, not the outside in. Think about a tree. The fruit represents your results. Your habits are the branches. Your identity is the root. Most people spend all their energy trying to fix the fruit, without realizing the problem is underground. Change the root, and everything above it begins to change naturally. Neuroscience helps explain why this happens. Every repeated action strengthens neural pathways inside your brain. The famous principle from neuroscience says, neurons that fire together wire together. Every time you repeat an action, you're strengthening the brain circuits associated with that behavior. But here's what most people miss. Those repeated actions also strengthen your identity. If you exercise today, you didn't just burn calories. You cast one vote for becoming someone who exercises. If you read 10 pages, you didn't just gain knowledge. You cast one vote for becoming a reader. If you keep your promises, you cast one vote for becoming someone who is trustworthy. Identity isn't built by giant moments. It's built by thousands of tiny pieces of evidence. One action rarely changes your life, but one action repeated consistently changes who you become. This is why small habits are so powerful. The goal isn't the habit itself. The goal is the identity the habit creates. James Clear explains this beautifully. Every action is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Notice the word vote, not proof. Not certainty, one vote. Missing one workout doesn't make you unhealthy. Reading one book doesn't make you brilliant. Saving $1 doesn't make you wealthy. But thousands of votes eventually elect a new identity. The problem is that people wait for confidence before acting. They think, I'll believe I'm disciplined once I see results. But confidence doesn't create action. Action creates confidence. The brain updates its beliefs based on evidence, not wishes. If you repeatedly show yourself evidence that you're disciplined, your brain eventually accepts it as true. This process is deeply connected to neuroplasticity. Your brain is constantly adapting based on repeated experiences. It's literally rewiring itself according to what you repeatedly do, not what you repeatedly say. Affirmations alone rarely change identity. Evidence does. This is why someone can repeat, I am confident, 100 times, but still feel insecure, because their experiences contradict the statement. Your subconscious trusts actions far more than words. Every promise you keep to yourself becomes evidence. Every promise you break becomes evidence too. Your brain is always collecting receipts. The good news is that identity isn't fixed, it's constructed, which means it can also be reconstructed. The person you are today isn't your destiny. It's simply the result of repeated choices from your past. Your future identity is being built right now, with every decision you make. So how do you intentionally build a new identity? First, stop asking, what do I want to achieve? Instead ask, who do I want to become? Don't focus on losing 20 pounds. Become someone who values movement. Don't focus on making $1 million. Become someone who creates value consistently. Don't focus on writing a book. Become a writer. Goals eventually end. Identity continues forever. Second, start unbelievably small. If your goal is reading, read 1 page. If your goal is fitness, do 5 push-ups. If your goal is meditation, sit for 1 minute. Why? Because you're not training performance. You're training identity. Every completed action says, this is who I am. Third, protect your self-image carefully. Never say, I am lazy. Say, I've been acting lazily lately. One attacks identity. The other describes behavior. Behavior can change. Identity feels permanent. Your words matter because your brain listens. Fourth, surround yourself with people who already embody your desired identity. Humans unconsciously imitate the behavior of their tribe. If everyone around you values growth, growth becomes normal. If everyone around you complains, complaining becomes normal. Your environment constantly shapes your identity, more than motivation ever will. Fifth, celebrate consistency instead of outcomes. If your happiness depends only on reaching the finish line, you'll constantly feel behind. Instead, celebrate becoming the kind of person who shows up, because showing up is the real victory. Results eventually follow. Identity also changes how you experience failure. Most people miss one workout and think, I've failed. Someone with a strong identity thinks differently. I missed today because that's not who I am. Notice the difference. Failure becomes an exception, not a definition. Identity gives resilience because it separates mistakes from the person. You are not your worst day. You are the pattern you choose to repeat. Think about the greatest athletes, the best entrepreneurs, the most respected leaders. Their excellence didn't begin with extraordinary talent. It began with a decision about who they were, long before anyone else believed it. Their daily actions eventually made that identity visible. The same process applies to anyone, including you. Your future isn't determined by one massive breakthrough. It's determined by the identity you're reinforcing every single day. Every choice is a vote. Every habit is evidence. Every repeated action shapes the person looking back at you in the mirror. So the next time you're about to make a decision, don't ask, what should I do? Ask, what would the person I want to become do? Then do exactly that, again and again and again. Because in the end, your life is rarely changed by one extraordinary moment. It's transformed by ordinary actions repeated until they become your identity.